Good afternoon, everyone. I wanted to take a second to go over macronutrients. That's what these are right here, and show you kind of why they're important. And there was a good article written in the bodybuilding.com by this gentleman right here, and he talks about macromorphine, and it talks about the macronutrients and what you are and what you're not. So, for example, you can read through this yourself. Are you an ectomorph, a mesomorph, or an endomorph? Obviously, this being the ectomorph, this being the mesomorph, and this being the endomorph. And the idea is that you're going to try to keep your macronutrients in this range. If you're ectomorph, you're naturally thin with skinny limbs and a high tolerance for carbohydrates. If you're a mesomorph, where you're naturally muscular, you're going to try to keep them in the 30 to 40%. And I know this is general in terms, but I want to point out to you real quick how Health Sidekick pointed out. After I obviously using Health Sidekick, I read this article, and then I checked what my top days were in actually Health Sidekick, and it was pretty accurate. So endomorph is this guy over here who is naturally broad and thick. You have a low carbohydrate tolerance and a slow metabolic rate, and you want to do 35% protein, 25% carbs, 40% fat. Well, as you know, Health Sidekick will automatically track this for you here, but it also tracks your nutrients. If you go to your top ranked and you click on your ranking, you can go to your nutrients and it'll track it. You can also go to your top days. And the reason why I like going to my top days, because I pick my days that are recent. So my most recent top day is this 429. This one's pretty good too, but 429 is the number one top day that I've had recently. It's currently May 10th. So I'll click on that and I'll see what happened that particular day. And I'll look at my protein, my carbs versus protein. This was my number one day. And it was carbs 40%, protein 25%, and fat 35%, which, if you take a look at this, is 30% protein, 40% carb, right? 25 to 30% protein and 30% fat. It almost perfectly matches this particular ratio. Remember, the protein and carbs are different. So did I have 40% carbs? Yeah, I did have 40% carbs. Did I have 25? I had 25% protein, so a little lean, 30% fat. But again, it's just kind of an interesting thing. You want to look at those macronutrients. Also counting carbs. We're going to have a net carb item here shortly that'll automatically count your net carbs as well. But typically, people are more any fitness people, the professionals are always focused on your macronutrient ratio. Anyhow, just to give you an idea, that's how you can use Health Sidekick and then get an idea of where you want to keep those historically. And you do that by going to top rank, click on your ranking, and you can see how your activity, how your physical activity, how your days and how your weeks are looking. And if you go into your week, this is my top day, you can get an average of what your protein to fat. And if you look at it again, this was one of my top ranked weeks. And I can click on my average, automatically get an idea of what my average caloric intake was and average macronutrients were for that week. And it says that's about where I want to keep them. Hope that helps. And again, if you are logging, you can obviously go to your daily log and easily, if you have your log, whatever you're logging in there, it'll automatically pull up. And if it's in there correctly, it'll automatically log the macronutrients for you. Take care.